Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive into the art of queen rearing. Today, we're getting back to basics and exploring the powerful techniques that work with the bee's own instincts to create some truly amazing queens. So when you look at queen rearing as a whole, it's a huge topic, but you can really boil it down to four main categories. You've got your natural methods, which we're covering today. Then there are artificial methods, some that don't involve grafting and some that do. And of course, there are modern and mixed approaches. In this explainer, we are focusing exclusively on those three core natural methods. Don't worry, we'll get to the others in future sessions.
Here's what's on the docket today. We're going to introduce the three natural methods, break each one down step by step, then we'll compare them so you can figure out which one makes the most sense for you and your bees. So what exactly do we mean when we say natural methods? Well, it's really all about leveraging the bee's own powerful, hardwired instincts. And here's the core idea in a nutshell. We are simply guiding the bees to do what they already do best. We're tapping into their instinct to reproduce, to preserve the colony, and to survive a crisis. And the best part? We can steer these instincts to get fantastic queens without needing a ton of complicated equipment. All right, let's jump right into our first method. This one taps into what is probably the most powerful drive in the entire colony, that undeniable urge to swarm. The whole idea here is that we're intentionally pushing our best, strongest colony right to the brink of swarming. Why? Because in that state of abundance, they build tons of absolutely gorgeous, top-quality queen cells, and they just flood them with royal jelly. Okay, but a really important question you've got to ask yourself with any of these methods is, what about the old queen? Where is she while all this is happening? She's still right there in the hive, but her whole world has changed. The colony's focus has completely shifted. Her egg-laying just plummets, and you'll see foraging activity pretty much grind to a halt. All of that energy is being redirected from making honey to making a new colony. Okay, let's walk through this step by step. First, you pick your absolute best hive and you create tight, cramped conditions to get that swarm impulse going. Keep an eye out for those queen cell cups. Once they're sealed, you need to be ruthless. Get rid of any that are small, crooked, or just don't look right. Then, a couple of days before they hatch, you carefully harvest the best ones. And this last step is critical. In that original hive, you destroy all but one, the single best cell, to stop them from swarming again and again. Now, here's a massive mistake a lot of people make. They just use cells from any old hive that decides to swarm. You can't do that. Remember, the tendency to swarm is genetic. If you breed from a chronically swarmy hive, you're just making more swarmy bees. Be selective. And another really important detail, you have to be gentle. Never ever shake a frame with queen cells on it. The pupa developing inside is incredibly fragile. A good shake can actually damage her, leading to deformed wings or other problems. Always, always use a soft bee brush or even a feather to gently sweep the bees away. Okay, on to our second method. This one is a bit more subtle, a little more finessed. We're going to mimic nature's way of replacing an old or failing queen, but without disrupting the hive's productivity. It's all about that self-preservation instinct. What's so amazing about this method is its precision. We're essentially tricking the colony into believing their queen is failing. And how do they respond? Not with panic, but with calm purpose. They focus all their resources on raising just a few, maybe 1 to 3, absolutely exceptional queen cells. So again, we have to ask the question, what's going on with the current queen in this whole scenario? Well, she's still in there, and she's still laying eggs. The bees don't see it as an emergency, and that's exactly why this method has almost zero impact on your honey harvest. The colony just keeps on working, business as usual, because there's no swarm impulse. So how do you do it? It's a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, pick a great colony that has a queen who's maybe 2 or 3 years old. Then, you carefully catch her and simulate a defect. Clip half of one wing or a tiny part of a leg. When you put her back, the bees will notice, and they'll start building those beautiful, big supersedure cells right in the middle of a frame. Once they're sealed, you can harvest them. And very often, the bees will build you a second batch. Now, the crucial thing here is learning to read the hive correctly. A huge mistake is confusing these supersedure cells with swarm cells and just destroying them. Look for the signs. Supersedure means just a few cells, right in the center of the comb, not dangling from the bottom. And the colony is still out there foraging like crazy. If you destroy these cells, you've wasted your time because they'll just start right over again.
All right, our third and final natural method. Now, this one is probably the most hands-on, and it taps into the colony's raw survival instinct, the panic that sets in when they suddenly realize they are queenless. With this method, we are creating a controlled crisis. We literally remove the queen, which sends the bees into a panic. They immediately start an emergency procedure to convert young worker larvae into new queens. And because we create the crisis, we have a ton of control over the timing and the number of queens produced. And for this one, the question of where's the queen is the most important of all, because the answer is totally different from the other two methods. That's right, she's gone. For this to work, the queen has to be physically removed from the hive. You can put her in a nuke or use her for a split. But the point is, the colony must be and feel completely and utterly queenless. Now pay very close attention to step 3. This right here is the absolute secret to getting high-quality queens with this method. Around day 4 or 5, you have to go in and destroy all the sealed queen cells. In their panic, the bees started cells on larvae of different ages. The sealed ones were made from larvae that were too old, and they'll produce poor queens. You leave only the open, unsealed cells. Those are your money cells, started on the youngest possible larvae. I really cannot stress this enough. If you skip that critical call, you're guaranteeing that you will raise inferior queens. What's worse is that those low-quality queens will emerge first, and their very first act will be to march through the hive and kill all of your high-quality queens while they're still helpless in their cells. It is the single most common and most costly mistake you can make with this method. So, we've looked at all 3 methods: swarming, supersedure, emergency. How in the world do you decide which one is right for you in your apiary? Well, let's put them side by side. And this chart really lays out the trade-offs perfectly. You want absolutely exceptional quality with almost no impact on your honey crop? Quiet supersedure is your go-to. Need queens fast and want maximum control? The emergency method is fantastic, as long as you do that critical call. The swarm method gives you great queens, but you're giving up control and probably a good bit of honey. You know, we've covered a lot of technical ground here, from culling cells to clipping queens. But what's the big picture takeaway from all of this? And that really sums it all up, doesn't it? At the end of the day, real success in beekeeping, and especially in raising queens, comes from understanding the incredibly powerful natural forces at play inside that box. You're not forcing the bees to do anything. You're just guiding them. So I want you to think about your own goals, your own colonies, your beekeeping style. Which of these methods are you going to try first? Next time, we're going to start our deep dive into the artificial methods, where the beekeeper takes even more control of the process. Thanks for joining me.